Now, if your grip is rubbish, your club face will start to still look forwards, and you're really in strife. If you've got a weak grip and a bowed left wrist, let me tell you, you're in all sorts of trouble. To a cup twist, we now have leg length. There's the open body, there's the swing, there's the cup. Now all of a sudden we've got bow, push, swing, and we might start to get ourselves in a position, open, swing, that starts to hit the ball up in the air and with a little bit of draw. If you've not seen it, get yourself over to Grant Horvat's channel and watch the 2v2 Phil Mickelson taking on Dustin Johnson. I was watching that and I have a little bone to pick with young Grant and that multi-major winning Phil Mickelson. They were referencing the Dustin Johnson swing. Oh, they're sitting in the buggy talking about Dustin. Oh my God, he just has to just turn out the way and just hold on to that thing so he can hit it super straight. Well, that is the biggest load of garbage going. And if you really believe that all Dustin Johnson thinks about is just holding on to it and turning out the way, you are thinking again. The reality is, if you're doing it with the 7-iron, you might be able to create some decent numbers. You might be able to create some decent ball flight. But the reality is that that golf club must swing. And so I want to talk a little bit today about the bow of the wrist. It's a piece of work that many, many golf coaches out there have really encouraged amateurs to put into their swings. And the reason for it, I don't want to go on, but that tucking of the elbow nonsense and the swinging inside out has been the real conduit that's caused so many golfers to have to bow and lift the handle up and shut the face down, all that nonsense. But look, Dustin has a really strong grip. Now you can have a strong grip at like Rory McIlroy, where it's a bit more in the palm and showing some knuckles. It's really a weak grip. That's why he battles with his driver, and he's a little bit questionable under pressure, in my opinion. Or you can have a Dustin Johnson grip that's a little bit more of a cup in the left wrist. So you can go about a strong grip in two different ways. It's not just about the knuckles showing, it's more about the placement of the hand on the golf club. And you might want to go and check out that little playlist up there on my video series on the grip. I would recommend it because if you can grip the club well, you are going to play this well, this game well for a very long time. So if you do have a bow in your left wrist, and we want to talk about the fact that Dustin just turns out of the way. Now, if you've got a bow in the left wrist, you are going to have some sort of club face that's closed. Now, depending on how your grip is, your club face is either going to start to point away from you, back to the back wall with a bowed left wrist. Now, if your grip is rubbish, your club face will start to still look forwards, and you're really in strife. If you've got a weak grip and a bowed left wrist, let me tell you, you're in all sorts of trouble. So get yourself a good left-hand grip and watch my grip series, because that will really sort you out. But if you have got a bowed left wrist, you will have worked on it. You'll have probably had a coat hanger on your left hand at some point, trying to push it into your forearm to bow it out. Again, load of nonsense that. But if you do have to have that bow, why not then start to think about allowing that golf club to swing down at the bottom? Has that golf club got more speed if I just turn out the way, like young Grant and young Phil talked about? So when you start to think about just turning out the way and holding on to it, sure, you can see I'm turning out the way. We've got that golf club really pacifying. But why not start to make that golf club swing? If you could get that golf club swinging, so you take a bow out and put a cup back in, you can see that that club face can equally stay straight. So there's the bow, there's the swing. We can still see that that club face is strong side of life. The more we bow, the more we have the ability to cup, and the more we'll have of getting the face to path more neutral. Now, to me, the more that you allow that club to swing down at the bottom and start to work from a bow, if you need to a cup, the more chance you have of getting the club to swing. There's the cup, there's the swing, there's a face to path value that's nice and neutral. That will allow you to have the maximum velocity of the golf club in the swing moment of the golf shot, because that's what we want. We've got leverage, so why not use it? Why would you want to just turn out the way and hold it? It's a lovely idea. Doesn't work for most though. So therefore, if we've got the club swinging, we now want to make the body turn, because that's ultimately what Grant and young Philippa were really encouraging you all to do. Just turn out the way and just hold on to it. But I defy you, why not use your leg action? Why not lengthen the leg instead of just turning through the middle and making your legs look like the spaghetti junction? It's a junction up in Birmingham in the UK on the M6. It's a nasty little place to drive around. So we don't want to have these legs all flexed. We want to really post up, which will allow the hips to open. So if you've now got the hips opening because you've got the lengthening of the leg, and you've now got a bowed wrist, if you have to have a bowed wrist, to a cupped wrist, we now have leg length. There's the open body, there's the swing, there's the cup. Now all of a sudden we've got bow, push, swing, and we might start to get ourselves in a position, open, swing, that starts to hit the ball up in the air and with a little bit of draw. And not only that, with an angle of attack down at 3.2, with a path line at 0, I think we're in a really good place there. Or you could go down the route on just holding on to it, really trying to turn out the way and try and emulate the likes of easy for me to say, Dustin Johnson. I would recommend the former, because the energy in the club is there to be used, folks. Allow the golf club to swing. It's so much energy, so much ball speed that you are going to gain from a swing moment in a golf swing. So the bowing of the left wrist, the swinging to a cupped moment, a lengthening of the leg that will allow you to feel energy of the swing, energy of the legs, to get the maximum out of that golf ball. Don't be suckered into just turn out the way that young Philippa and Grant encourage you to do. Ramp up that pull, ramp up the swing, and lengthen that leg for maximum hip turn. If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. Hopefully you found that useful. Do subscribe while you're here. And that, my friends, you've guessed it, it's good coaching.